We were so fortunate to have Major Max Fleischmann as the president of our board. The number of buildings that he personally financed and helped fill with exhibits. And in 1937, Max is president of the board and finds that he's looking for a new director. And everyone he talks to says, "You want Arthur Sterry Coggeshall." One of the leading figures in the American museum field at the time. And Coggeshall said, "I like the museum, but I would only consider becoming director if it had an auditorium so that we could do the kinds of lectures and programs a highly credible museum should." Fleischmann said, "All right, I will give you the auditorium if you'll be the director." Coggeshall becomes director in 1937. Fleischmann Auditorium opens in 1938.
Fleischmann Auditorium was designed in the Spanish colonial revival style, which is an offshoot of the period revival movement that attempted to recast and recall earlier architectural styles, often with a regional emphasis. So for California, with its strong tradition of Spanish and Mexican era architecture, buildings were often designed to recall these earlier styles, and Fleischmann Auditorium is one of these. With its tiled roofs, stuccoed walls, arches, the building attempted to recall in a very romantic manner the architecture of colonial and Mexican era California.
There had been Native American exhibits in Fleischmann for a very long time. We have documentation of Native American exhibits dated 1939. When we first wanted to start changing the exhibits in Fleischmann Auditorium, the plans for the exhibit were fairly elaborate, so we needed some outside support and went to the Meyersons as people who had been involved with the museum for quite a while already and were really supportive, and they actually funded the needed changes that we made in the exhibits as early as 1982.
When Jan Timbrook came to Raymond and said, "The exhibit in Fleischmann Auditorium needs refurbishing," Raymond found the money in our bank account. And it was pure pleasure to be able to say to Jan, "Go for it."
The Meyersons were incredible. They supported completely rebuilding the exhibit cases to make much nicer exhibits and much safer too in terms of collection preservation.
This space, over its 80 years, accretes pieces of community love, like the cases, like the tamal. This canoe, Halleck, played a significant role in a revival of Chumash seafaring traditions, and now it hangs here, and we're so proud to be able to display it. We'd like to talk here at the museum about our beautiful front garden, and of course, our backyard. It's like a home, right? You have a front yard and a backyard, and every home has a living room. And Fleischmann Auditorium is this institution's living room. This is Santa Barbara's living room. For over 80 years, this auditorium, this space has been the place where people come together, whether it's for a lecture, parties, events, memorial services, film screenings, fundraising events, summer exhibits, wedding receptions, town halls. We are a polling place during every election. City Fire Department and County Fire Department both do their graduation ceremonies here. It's truly a community gathering place. And when I say it's Santa Barbara's living room, it is that and so much more. 3 or 4 years ago, the heating system failed, so we were operating without heat. The moment was right to really think about a top-to-bottom renovation of this entire space. So this project was made by an entire team of folks. There were just so many areas of expertise that were brought to bear and were so well coordinated by the museum's project manager, Barbara Barker.
I'm Barbara Barker, and I've worked for the museum for 13 years on its master plan. Coming off the heels of our major construction project with the Butterfly Pavilion, we had a tight-knit team.
Shaq Deslani Architects, Frank Skipper Construction Company. We touched everything, and it was a significant investment. We put an entirely new roof on the auditorium, added seismic upgrades as well as insulation, repainted the entire interior and exterior, removed all of the old asbestos, acoustical treatment.
The architects did an amazing job with the acoustic treatment. It was one of the things that most cost came in on it. They just kept working until they found a new way to do it.
A new audio-visual system, new stage curtain, upgraded the lighting to LED theater-grade lighting that can all be controlled off an iPad.
In the new exhibits, there's LED lighting, which is virtually infinitely adjustable.
High energy efficiency heating and air conditioning, refurbished the 8 chandeliers, refinished all of the wood.
Years of scars were covered up and the natural wood grain was retained.
We made the space much more accessible.
One of the things that I think that was best handled was the wheelchair lift. The way the knee wall was placed in front, the stage actually had to be renovated, and Skipper, rightly so, recommended replacing the front of the stage, which made it look very seamless. The wheelchair lift, along with the lowering of the alcoves, allows full access to the auditorium now for all visitors. Altogether, the project took about 15 months.
I'm really proud to report that we completed this multi-million-dollar project on time and under budget.
The experience of a visitor before the rehabilitation was of a dark, cavernous space that really didn't convey its wonderful architectural details. After the completion of the rehabilitation project, I was able to visit Fleischmann Auditorium and was really struck by what an improved visual quality the building has now.
There used to be a closed-in feeling that you have opened up.
The place just sparkles. Everything this museum is and does and will do is because of this community's belief in what we do and willingness to support it.
It's really important that buildings like Fleischmann Auditorium are preserved. They lend a sense of place to the community, they're touchstones for local history, and they form very integral parts of all of our lives.
We had 2 young grandchildren who came from New York to Santa Barbara on a regular basis from the time they were born. And because Raymond brought them here so often, and because Raymond loved this museum so much, my grandchildren refer to it as Grandpa's Museum. I know the museum belongs to everyone in the community, but in the Meyerson household, it's Grandpa's Museum.
I'd like to express appreciation to the donors for recognizing the significance of this project. My hope is when they first walk into this room, they will be able to feel this labor of love that we accomplished together.
I want to thank each and every one of you for the extraordinary gifts you have made to this museum. And in a larger sense, I want to thank you for the extraordinary gifts you thereby are making to the entire community that we exist to serve. Having this auditorium looking beautiful and being much more functional than it ever was before provides the museum with an even better living room to host community conversations going forward. And there are a lot of important conversations to be had about the state of our planet in the face of climate change, species loss, and people come to this museum, whether it's from the Tri-County area or visitors from across the nation and around the world. They look to us to help understand what's going on and what can be done. It really goes back to what Arthur Coggeshall wanted to begin with 80 years ago, a large space where people could come together and have those important conversations.
At my age, time is limited. But I think of all the youngsters. I love the fact that this museum is here for them. I hope that the future of this museum will be fresh to generations to come. I want to see it the vibrant place it is when there are gatherings here with people filling every spot.